Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sean Hubbard of the Hubbard Wrestling Weekly podcast and co-host of Clash of the Podcast, which airs every Monday night. It is the wee hours of January 29th, coming off the heels of January 28th and the Royal Rumble. I could not wait till tomorrow or later today, technically, to drop a video for all my TikTok followers, YouTube subscribers, and for the website. It is very rare. It is very rare that a person like myself, who considers themselves to be educated in the business, knowledgeable of how the business works, etc. It's almost unheard of for me to almost be at a loss for words. Tonight, I am at a loss for words. What we just saw take place between Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and the Bloodline. Wow. Number one, let me start by saying that no one has been more critical of WWE World Wrestling Entertainment and its storylines than me. They have been pedestrian, they have been amateur, very disappointing, with the exception of the Bloodline storyline. The Bloodline storyline has carried the day for WWE, there's no question about that. Outside of a very few other people like Seth Rollins perhaps, Kevin Owens himself, Sami Zayn himself, the whole Bloodline storyline has carried WWE over the past 2 years, with Roman Reigns as its champion. I've been bored with Monday Night Raw. I've been bored at times with SmackDown. No one, again, has been more critical of World Wrestling Entertainment than me. And tonight, I thought the Royal Rumble for the men was a little bit pedestrian. I thought Cody Rhodes entering at number 30 was a bad idea because we knew he was coming back, but yet we had him at number 30, so there was no surprise element to number 30. That was a very silly mistake that did not have to be made. All you had to do was have him enter at 29. But by having him enter at 30, killed the edge of him coming out and ruined what could have been a surprise for number 30. Maybe I'm picking for straws here. Maybe I'm being a little bit too critical, but that's my opinion. Also, I felt like the Bianca Belair Alexa Bliss match left a lot to be desired. I'm a big Bianca Belair fan. I believe she will keep the title until WrestleMania. Hopefully they come up with a challenger that makes sense by the time Mania rolls around. The pitch black Mountain Dew whatever match with Bray and LA Knight was a complete cluster, you know what? Not a fan, not good. The Women's Royal Rumble was okay. I think the right woman won. Not very much surprise element, not very much as it pertains to storytelling in the match. The Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns match itself was okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 7. I thought Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns did a good job. Not a great job, but a good job. And it was definitely one of those things where you can look back and say, okay, well, you know what, it was a passable match. But what happened after the match, it blew my mind. And I'm saying this again as somebody who's been very, very critical of WWE. I must say tonight, for that 7 to 10 minutes after the bell rang when the match was over, WWE did something that they haven't done in a long time, and that's make magic. They finally got it right. And and not only did they get it right, not only did we get the Sami Zayn turn, but we also now have Jey Uso as a question mark moving forward about whether or not he's going to remain in the Bloodline. Obviously, he's Bloodline for real, but as far as being in the faction, we don't know what Jey's going to do because Jey looked disgusted after what took place. So, when you talk about family, okay, and wrestling has always been entrenched in family, now more than ever with the Bloodline storyline, there's a certain personal element to it. As long as it's done correctly and with good taste, it can really knock things out of the park in a great way. And tonight, that's exactly what happened. WWE painted a picture tonight. And finally, they painted it with a brush and with paint that we can appreciate as fans, journalists, or whatever the case may be. The Bloodline beating the crap out of Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn not being able to take it anymore. Sami Zayn finally hitting Roman Reigns with a chair. He didn't beat the crap out of Roman Reigns with a chair. He hit Roman Reigns with a chair just to send a message. He knew he was going to get his tail whipped by the Bloodline for doing what he did. But when he did what he did, and for the 2 seconds that he had to explain himself before Jay and Solo jumped all over him, for him to look at Jay and say, "I'm sorry," and to look in Jay's eyes. Now, I understand, we all understand, especially as professionals, journalists in this industry, that it's all predetermined, it's all storyline, but man, was that a good job. For Sami Zayn to look at Jay and say, "I'm sorry," and for Jay to say, "I just called you my brother. I embraced you as my brother." And then you can hear in the background Jimmy say, "No, I'm your brother." Jimmy, the one who's always been a fan of Sami Zayn. Then beating the crap out of Sami Zayn. Showing his loyalty to Roman Reigns. Solo showing his loyalty to Roman Reigns. But Jay in the corner, after probably being a little upset at Sami for doing what he did, then thinking about it and saying to himself, and I'm just thinking out loud here about what possibly went through his mind. I'm sure we'll hear more about it on SmackDown, but thinking about, well, maybe Roman Reigns did deserve that. Or maybe Jay is thinking back about how Roman Reigns treated him a couple of years ago. Hell in a Cell, Clash of Champions, back in 2021, 2020, when the Bloodline first formed, when he was the right-hand man. This is very interesting. So this is not going to be a long video. You can put your comments and let me know how you felt about the match. But I just want to say, for the first time in a long time, at the Royal Rumble 2023, WWE got it right. Will they screw it up later? I worry about that. Hopefully not. But the way the situation is playing out right here and now, where we're at right now at 12:30 a.m. Saturday night going into Sunday, the night of the Royal Rumble, the way it stands right now, WWE got it right. If I'm going to knock them for all the stupid crap they do, I got to give them credit for when they get it right. And tonight, for once, they got it right. Sean Hubbard, HubbWWeekly.com, Hubbard Wrestling Weekly on YouTube, Clash of the Podcast every Monday night, 6:05. Talk to you later.